Now on Up North Live News at 6. A celebration 27 years in the making, the milestone being marked in the White Pines Trail. It's being called a groundbreaking initiative, how the Gaylord Police Department is hoping to bridge a gap in the community.
Nobody would have ever seen these if I didn't digitize them.
Plus, one woman's painstaking mission to highlight some pieces of northern Michigan history. And remembering the godfather of heavy metal at a historic concert venue in northern Michigan.
This is Up North Live News at 6 on 7 and 4.
New at 6, it's taken decades, millions in funding, and a whole lot of heart. The White Pine Trail is fully paved, stretching from Comstock Park, which is just outside of Grand Rapids, all the way to Cadillac. Up North Live's Tony Lundy takes us to today's celebration and looks back at the journey it took to get here.
After years of planning, fundraising, and construction, the White Pine Trail is officially complete and paved. The ribbon cutting took place behind Morley Stanwood High School, where trail supporters gathered to celebrate the big moment. Afterwards, the celebration continued with a presentation highlighting those who paved the way for the project.
We're excited about that because now, in addition to all the great features and amenities and all of the 15 communities that claim ownership, which we love, it is now the longest single paved trail in the state of Michigan, and it's the third longest single paved trail in the country.
It started back in 1994 when the Michigan Department of Natural Resources purchased the corridor from MDOT for $850,000. Since then, it's grown thanks to more than $6 million in funding from state, federal, and private donors, advocated by the Friends of the White Pine Trail Group.
And the Friends Group came to us with the idea of having the entirety of all 92 miles of the White Pine Trail paved. And we said, that's a great idea. Take the lead on it. And the Friends Group stepped up to the task, and they have been a great partner with the DNR for over a decade in helping us get this trail paved.
Much of the passion has come from those volunteers who have spent years developing the trail.
It enhances the quality of life for the residents that live near the trail and those that get out there and use it every day. We see the benefits of economic development, community development, mental health, physical health, all of that come together when we build trails such as this one.
And now, with the trail fully paved and ready to ride, it's a win that stretches across 92 miles from one community to the next. From Morley Stanwood High School, Tony Lundy, Up North Live News.
And we have maps and other information on the White Pine Trail on our website, UpNorthLive.com.
We're taking a live look at a public hearing underway in Charlevoix County's Melrose Township. The community is weighing in on the issue of short-term rentals and impacts to the community. Township officials are looking at an ordinance for short-term rental properties and penalties for violations. We'll have more on the meeting tonight on Up North Live News at 11.
Well, if you feel safe, you probably don't feel like you need to hide. Northern Michigan organization has a mission of making everyone feel safe and proud of who they are. And that mission got a little more public with the conversion of an old building to a new home.
Oh, the first time walking in, just so overwhelmingly wonderful.
You may have seen it driving by on 8th Street in Traverse City. The past, sun-faded reminders of what this building used to be. And inside, a few more.
This copy shop has so many different types of plugs. I'm not kidding you. I'm seeing plugs that I have never even heard of before.
The building doesn't hide its past, and with its new tenants, it doesn't hide its present either.
We've always known that having a space was sort of the primary directive. That was our main mission, was to be visible and present in the community in a literal sense.
For more than a decade, Up North Pride, an organization that supports and advocates for the LGBTQ+ community, has had to ask for space for meetings and events.
We used to go between businesses or out to different public spaces or people's houses, things like that. But to be able to dictate exactly when and where we do something and what that something is really powerful for an organization like this.
But thanks to the supportive owners of the property, Up North Pride doesn't have to ask for favors or permission as much because they now have their own place.
I can go somewhere and feel welcomed as who I am and not have to adapt who that is or answer questions about who that is, and just really truly be embraced for who I personally identify as.
For now, a to-do list of projects, a wish list of donated items, but as always, a calendar full of events, some of which will be held right here.
They can 100% just relax and be themselves. Is just to watch someone do that, you can literally see the relief in their shoulders as they walk through the door and be like, this is where I can be myself, and that's expected for me to just be myself.
It's a public space for some community members who haven't always been able to be public. A next step for an organization that's more than ready to run. An old copy shop with a new original purpose.
I think that it adds to the fabric of the community. It creates a larger and more colorful quilt of what our community is, who's invited to it, who's welcomed to it, and who belongs in it.
And Up North Pride says everyone is welcome to stop by to meet and to learn, to have questions answered and new friendships made. They do say if any of those new friends happen to be electricians, they would be extra grateful.
The Gaylord Police Department is kicking off a one-year pilot program for a new community-based position. Officer Taylor Johnson is the department's new Human Services Officer. Johnson will help bridge the gap between community services and urgent community needs. He will work as a dedicated plainclothes officer who will serve as an in-field social services coordinator. The chief of police says it is a groundbreaking initiative.
It's going to allow them to have a navigator who, can navigate their way through all the available social service network. Some availability of resources dry up, and it's a hard thing for road officers to keep up with what is available and what's not, where this position will be solely dedicated to this type of work.
The Gaylord Police Department is optimistic that this one-year pilot program will demonstrate the significant benefits of integrating human services directly within law enforcement operations, leading to a safer and more supported community.
A Charlevoix County woman has a piece of history, and she's searching for the family it belongs to. She won 30 film reels from the 1930s and 40s on eBay, not knowing when she digitized the film, they would actually show scenes of northern Michigan. Allie Baxter joins us live now from the Content Center. Allie, you met with her and she showed you the process behind bringing these reels back to life.
Yeah, Mark, I found Jenny Haltman on social media. She was posting clips of that digitized film in several Facebook groups looking for help identifying landmarks and buildings. Getting all 30 of those reels digitized is a process she told me will take her a couple years to complete.
I started talking to a friend at work. He was like, oh, I've got something for you. And he ended up giving me this 8mm projector. And I was like, what am I gonna do with this?
Jenny Haltman started by digitizing her family's videotapes. Then a coworker gave her this 8mm projector, leading her to start bidding on nearly 100-year-old film reels.
But what I didn't expect was to find something that was from Traverse City.
And Interlochen and Houghton Lake.
It's a whole treasure of Michigan memories from the 30s and 40s.
Those memories stuck within these Kodak film reels, found at an estate sale in St. Petersburg, Florida.
They probably didn't expect anybody to be able to find a way to digitize them or to see them again.
That's because they're not in the best condition, extremely brittle.
8 to 10 of them that were this crunchy.
Some with vinegar syndrome, a chemical breakdown of the material.
Because otherwise I could just run it and come back in a half an hour and it would be done. But every second of this I have to be there and feed it through.
Jenny starts with a 2 to 10 inch piece of the film, then uses a hair straightener to give it a little flex.
3 seconds.
Producing about 2 to 3 seconds of video at a time.
Probably taking me 5 to 6 hours to be able to do a 30-second bit.
Most of the reels are 5 inches, which amounts to 200 feet of film on each reel.
Got about 30, so you do the math.
6,000 feet total.
It's probably going to take me years.
But it's a labor of love for Jenny.
This one actually says a date, Detroit and Minnesota, 1948 and 49. And like I said, a lot of them I don't know. This one says Jack.
In a process she decided to share with others on social media in an attempt to identify the people smiling back at her.
I think it was within 24 hours. We knew the family, we knew the location, and I was just trying to figure out what town it was from.
Meet the Sawyer family. They lived at 510 6th Street in Traverse City. Jenny and others she's talked to on social media believe Mizelle Sawyer Bell is the girl skating and walking along 6th Street.
That's someone's mom.
Probably somebody's great-grandmother.
What started with an eBay gift card ended with a window into the past, not just documenting Mizelle, but capturing a Traverse City as it used to look.
I think it's important just because nobody would have ever seen these if I didn't digitize them. And I find a lot of history, especially, you know, the little history of each individual person is really important. And those people can be remembered now. So piece by piece, we're getting it done.
Jenny tells me she just bought more film reels of the Sawyer family from the same eBay seller that are supposed to show scenes of Mackinac Island. She's tried to find relatives of the Sawyer family to show them these older videos of their mother and grandmother. If you have any leads or just want to follow Jenny's journey of digitizing the reels, we'll put links to her social media with this story on our website. Live in the Content Center, Allie Baxter, back to you.
Cursive has that similar kind of connection to how a kid grows and how a kid learns.
It's a skill many of us learned in elementary school, but cursive writing is slowly disappearing from classrooms all across the country. Now, a Michigan lawmaker is hoping to change that. Representative Brenda Carter is introducing House Bill 4675. It would require the Department of Education to develop or adopt a list of model programs of instruction on cursive. It wouldn't require school districts to implement one of these model programs, but would strongly encourage it. Representative Carter knows the benefits of reading and writing in cursive, but this bill isn't just policy for her, it's personal. Her son died in 2019. While she was packing up some of his memorabilia to pass on to his daughter, she found this letter he wrote when he was 9 years old that was written in cursive.
Gisara was able to read it because her school, where she was going to, implemented cursive writing. So she was actually able to read an artifact written by her father, and she was 9 years old when she read it, and he was 9 years old when he wrote it. So it was linking the past to the future.
And coming up tonight on UpNorthLive News at 11, why this bill has been introduced numerous times and where it stands tonight. Honoring the godfather of heavy metal music, how Northern Michigan is remembering icon Ozzy Osbourne, coming up next on UpNorthLive News at 6.
A warm night coming up. We'll look at how warm it's going to stay tonight and who gets some storms tonight. All that after the break.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.